Hi there, folks. It's just me, your friendly neighborhood Walter Shepard. This is just a quick video in response to a question and or concern about Judgment Day, the Judgment Day, the uppercase J, uppercase D, Judgment Day, the final Judgment Day for all mankind, as opposed to the lowercase j, Judgment Day, which is the rapture, or the day of the rapture, which I believe is the beginning of the Great Tribulation period, or the wrath of God, or the judgment of God. That is a type of Judgment Day, as will be the first day of the 1,000 years of peace. That's the resurrection day for all the Jewish people that have existed, and they will be judged as to whether or not they are going to be included in the 1,000 years of peace or excluded. And on that same day, the Old Testament prophets tell us that the remnant of human survivors of Armageddon, of the apocalypse, they will be gathered from wherever they are on earth, wherever those survivors are found. They will be taken to Jerusalem, and then they will be judged as well. And they will either be disposed of, or they will be placed on earth somewhere. But again, I could get into a whole new video on both of those two subjects. But for now, this is a comment or a response to the final time of judgment, which happens after the 1,000 years of peace and before God makes earth his home. At the final time of judgment, as you know, that's when the lake of fire will be populated. And everybody that has existed on the face of the planet, from Adam and Eve onward until the last person born during the 1,000 years of peace, they will stand before God. The Bible tells us in Revelation that the sea will give up their dead. Everybody will be resurrected. Everybody that is in Hades at the time will be resurrected, and they will get their eternal physical bodies on the final time of judgment. And the concern this person had was where that judgment was going to be. They figured it was going to be on earth when the city is brought down from heaven onto the earth, and I can't see that happening, because those people who come from Hades will still have that sin nature that they have to give an account for. And I can't see them touching the earth, because during the 1,000 years of peace, the earth, Eden, will be restored. But the earth itself still won't be perfect. It'll only simply be good, because the flesh and blood people during the 1,000 years of peace, they will still have that Adamic nature. They will still be able to choose sin. So sin cannot exist in the presence of God. Sin just automatically burns up. It just automatically goes up into flames. So God cannot touch the earth while there is still any amount of sin on it. So to hold the final time of judgment, to me, it doesn't fit the whole character of God, because again, if those sinners on earth are standing in the presence of God on earth, then they would just burst into flames. I've always seen the final time of judgment taking place in another dimensional realm, another extension of heaven, another plane of heaven, somewhere that can hold billions, maybe even trillions of people all at the same time, and a place that is located between heaven and between the lake of fire. Somewhere there's a dimensional plane where the final time of judgment will take place. And that will contain both those people that are in heaven and those people that have come from Hades. And so everybody there will have their regenerated body, and those people who are not found in the Lamb's Book of Life will be thrown into the lake of fire. And I don't think the lake of fire is directly connected to the earth that will house God's city. So I hope that answers your question, that the final time of judgment will not take place on the earth. So after the 1,000 years of peace, when Satan has weeded out all those human beings that can choose sin on the face of the planet, then, on the face of the earth, then will be human beings that have rejected sin, that have turned their back on sin. There will be no more sinful people after Satan has tempted the last of the people and after they have been destroyed. Because the Bible tells us in Revelation that when those final people, at the end of the 1,000 years of peace, when they have gathered around Jerusalem to try and destroy it, that's when the fire of God falls and destroys them all. So their souls will end up in Hades, and then on the final time of judgment, their souls will be taken out of Hades, will be reunited with their bodies, and if their names are not found in the Lamb's Book of Life, they will be thrown into the lake of fire, and that is the second death. Their first death was in their physical bodies while they still had their sin nature, and the second death will be when they get their bodies back for the final time of judgment, and then thrown into the lake of fire, which, like I said, the Bible calls the second death. And then once the earth is free of any sinful people or any people that would choose sin, once the earth is sin-free, God's fire is going to come down and purify and eternalize anything, or eternalize everything, and will destroy, burn up into ash, anything that contains any amount of sin or anything that can lead someone to sin. Then, after the earth of the 1,000 years of peace has been purified, then it will be perfect. It will be totally sinless. Then God can set foot on the face of the earth when he brings the heavenly city down. And then when he brings heaven to earth, that's when we mere human beings will be able to see God face to face. So I hope that answers your question. The main concern of the person who asked that was the verse that says outside the city gates will be the idolaters, the dogs, and the wicked, and whatnot. And I've always seen that verse as being more metaphorical. It's an allusion. It's a reference to being outside the kingdom of God. And when you're in the lake of fire, you're definitely outside of creation. You're outside the city gates. And so that's where all those wicked, evil people will be in the lake of fire. So I guess that's about it. If anybody else has any other questions or concerns or whatever, just leave it in the comment section, and I will get to it as soon as I can. Okay, that's it. Have a nice weekend, people. I love you all. Take care. Thanks for all your support. Be a blessing out there wherever you are in internet land and YouTube world. And we'll see you at the Eastgate meetup, or we will see you in Jesus' kingdom somewhere over there, or even somewhere up in the air. Alrighty. Remember, Jesus rules.